What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to the Kellycast Season 2. This time, it's personal. And we have a personal guest today, the first ever honorary Kelly, none other than Mitch Smith. Mitch, how you doing, bud?
Good. I'm doing well, Dan. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for inviting me over for the first game of the NFL season. Very excited.
Happy to have you, my friend. I will say, I'm disappointed in you. You're fired. And why didn't you bring the Kellycast Prediction Championship with you today?
I was in a rush, so I apologize for not bringing it on. Dan did remind me to bring it, and I forgot it. I apologize, but next time it will be here.
Let me ask you this, Mitch. How has it felt waking up in the morning, looking over to your dresser or wherever you have displayed the Kellycast champion, knowing that you won that? Your hard work, your dedication went into winning that title.
It was interesting. I didn't think I was actually coming into that season. I didn't think I was actually going to win it. I just thought, hey, Dan just texted me, what are your picks? And I was like, here are my picks. And lo and behold, I saw the Kelly short, and I won the championship. So I'm honored. I'm honored for the Kelly title.
First ever Kellycast Prediction Champion, and this year it's personal. As I mentioned, one of the reasons it's personal, the man sitting next to you there, Mr. Mike Kelly. Mike, happy to have you. Happy to have found you. Where were you yesterday? Why was I looking at all these mannequins?
Yeah, well, I was at work while you were doing that fun video. I don't know. You tell me. You worked the hardest out of all of us.
Hey, how are you feeling going into season 2 here of the Kellycast?
I'm feeling good, man. I had a great season last year. I had some really good picks, but like my wife, I crapped out in the playoffs and lost to this guy. And I'm just here to say, not in my house, buddy. Not in my house.
Literally, of course. And I believe you finished second last year with the most wins for the regular season. This year, I will stay on everybody, so be prepared to dislike me, guys, because I'm coming at you every game, every week. We are discussing it here on the Kellycast. We're giving you our predictions, as well there will be a post on the social medias with the other members of the Kellycast. New members this year, we have Ken, and we have Lance, who joined in a little bit later last year. Of course, Unk will be back. We have Nick, we have Aaron, we have Zach, Sam, Melissa. Everybody is competing for that prestigious Kellycast title. Right behind you guys, we have tonight's matchup, the Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens. Mike, what do you got? What do you got to say? I saw you chomping at the bit over there.
Ooh, I got to say that this is going to be a fun game, first off and foremost.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw this, Mike, was, can it get any more difficult for us? The first game of the season is Chiefs-Ravens.
Yeah, who do you pick in that? The reigning champions versus the reigning MVP.
Yeah, the more exciting team being the Baltimore Ravens. I just want to go over the injury report real quick, if you don't mind. For the Kansas City Chiefs, the only player that is out of this game is Hollywood Brown, which he got hurt on the first play of the preseason, and I think it's more precautionary than anything. But, I think it is a notable weapon missing for them, obviously, releasing good old Mohans. There's a bunch more on the Chiefs injury report. Guys like Joe Tooney, Derek Nottie, Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, all of them listed as hurt, but they all competed in practice fully. So I'm expecting all of them to go. For the Ravens, nobody of note. So this is week 1. It's only going to get worse for these teams in terms of their health. Mitch, what are you most looking forward to in this matchup?
I'm looking forward to both offenses really kind of connecting with their ones and twos and their running backs, and I'm more excited to see about the tight ends. Usually, I don't really note the tight ends a lot, but obviously you got 2 of the top 3 tight ends in the league in Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce.
Taylor Swift, don't forget her.
That too. But I'm really more excited to see how are they going to play a difference in this week's matchup. Obviously, we all know that Travis Kelce is Patrick Mahomes' number 1 target.
Blanket, best friend, butt buddy, whatever you want to call him, it's true. He's been the leading receiver there for the past 6 years.
And Mark Andrews, I honestly see him as, you could say Lamar's number 1, but I think that goes to Zay Flowers a little bit. But Mark Andrews is, like I said, top 3 tight end, in my opinion. And I think it's just going to be coming down how are they going to take into effect for both offenses?
I like that. And the problem with Mark Andrews has always been his health.
Correct.
He's had a problem staying on the field. We say it all the time, the best ability is availability. Mike, you and I discussed Taylor Swift at length all season last year. Today, NFL analyst, former wide receiver Nate Burleson came out with a long post kind of discussing the average football fan, saying it's too much Taylor Swift, it's too much this, saying we show celebrities when they're at the game no matter what. I want to get your thoughts on that. Do you think like it's too much Taylor Swift? Do you think the NFL is pushing it on us too much at this point, or are you still in the camp of whatever they're going to do what they're going to do?
I'm in the camp of whatever they're going to do what they're going to do, man. They got to sell tickets, and that's what they're here to do, and they're doing it via Taylor Swift. You know,
Can you blame them, right?
Hey, oh, by the way, I do have to say now the second highest grossing on what was it online or whatever to Eminem. Yeah, you lost to Eminem, Taylor. I just got to say that.
Okay.
I also want to point out that I'm really excited that we get our very first look at Lamar, Derrick Henry in real live game.
Yeah, that's a scary thought. I've been talking to people about that all off season. Like, are the Ravens this, Dan? Are the Ravens that? And Mitch, the Ravens are such an unknown on offense, right? Because people want to say he's old, right? He is breaking the mold of that 30-year-old running back. Derrick Henry is not Chris Johnson, who was fixated on his speed. What are your thoughts on the Ravens offense, Mitch?
I'm excited to see Derrick Henry. As soon as I saw Derrick Henry against, obviously, us, we've seen him in Tennessee, and we've seen him bulldoze a lot of people. I'm excited to see what I'm excited to see what he can do with the power back that Derrick Henry is, and with the speed of Lamar. That offense can go many different ways.
It's going to depend on health. That's what it's going to come down to in Baltimore, and that's usually what it comes down to. So, you know, other running backs get hurt in the past. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, the rookie last year, I'm forgetting his name.
Yeah, all within like the first 3 weeks.
Keon Mitchell, I think, is his name. Mitchell is his last name, but I'm not sure of his first name. But Derrick Henry plays a different style than all of those guys that we mentioned, and I think it's going to play a huge factor. You mentioned it earlier to me, Mike. This is a preview of the playoffs. You're probably going to see this game again.
Yep.
If you don't, it's Buffalo, Cincinnati, like Miami. There's a couple teams that could plug in if it's not one of these. But we're not analysts here. We love analyzing the game. We're not here for your professional football takes, I guess it would be the word that I would give you. So that's as far as we're going to go analyzing this game. Let's get into who is going to win. We're going to start off with our guest over there, Mr. Mitch. Who do you think is going to win? And if you want to tell us why, go for it.
So I was kind of thinking about this at work and kind of talking to my coworkers, and they're all going, I think they're gonna go Chiefs. I like the underdog story. And going into this game, I think the Ravens are the underdogs.
Okay.
But it's in Arrowhead. First game of the season. You got all the Swifties coming out.
The rings are being handed out.
Exactly. The rings are being handed out to players. You cannot bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I love Lamar Jackson. I love his style. Sorry, Baltimore, but I'm going Chiefs just because first game of the season in Arrowhead. Rings are being handed out. 20 seconds into the game, calling it now. Taylor Swift is going to be on the screen.
I'll combat you with that, with something you said there, and that being Kansas City last year started the season after winning the Super Bowl. They played the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions ended up winning that game. That was the same thing. It was coming off your Super Bowl, giving the rings out, first game of the season. So that kind of thinking doesn't always work. I'm going to give myself a little bit more time to think on this and hand it over to Mike on who he is going to take in this matchup, Kansas City and Baltimore.
As far as underdogs go, I absolutely always go with the underdog, but they're going to be out for revenge. The Ravens, they got beat. It won't be the first. It won't be the first year that the Super Bowl champs lose the first game of the year, and I don't think it's going to be the last.
And not
So
only did they get beat, Mike, they got beat handedly. Remember that playoff game last year?
I think exactly. I think they got a lot of bulletin board material.
Okay.
So
you're taking
to start off, I'm taking Baltimore.
I'm sorry, you remember. I just have to have you.
Yes. I have to clarify.
That's just the way it works here. This is interesting. You know, I've been seeing predictions from Nick, from Zach, from Aaron, Melissa, everybody on who is going to win this game. And when you say the word underdog, I understand it, but we're not betting individuals. I'm not sure if you bet anymore, Mitch. I know we have a buddy that does. And in terms of that, there are underdogs and there are favorites, right? And the favorite in this game is the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sure it's probably a 3-point margin.
3 points.
Yeah,
3 points.
3-point margin because they're the home team and this is a really close matchup. I don't think the underdog is the correct word to use when discussing this matchup, but I think that I am going to select the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. I want to go Ravens with everything in my being.
He's got a lot better receiver core, and we saw what he could do without one.
But they also lost their number one receiver. He's not going to play today. Marquise Brown, that being the guy they traded for during the offseason.
And again, we saw what he can do without a number one receiver. So
true.
And you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
I want to go Ravens, Mike. I do. But the one thing that is making me go Kansas City Chiefs is the fact that last year I went out on a limb too often. I went out and picked somebody just for the hell of it, just because I was Dan. And it didn't work out.
No, not at all.
So this year, I'm taking a different approach.
You had a terrible season.
It wasn't terrible. I had some
You came back a little bit. You came back.
Definitely some lows. Let us know your thoughts down in the predictions around our social medias at the Kellycast on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Hopefully the TikTok's more active this year, depending on how timing works. But let's move on now to the other game we're going to cover today, which is the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. This game being taken place in Brazil. Mitch, your thoughts on the NFL going to Europe, on this costing Philadelphia a home game? Do you have any thoughts on how this works?
No, not really. I kind of just was embracing it. I know last year we got, I don't remember who played in a different country last year.
We played in London.
I know we played in London. Wasn't it like not Germany? Wasn't it like
Germany, Kansas City, and
Germany?
Miami.
Yeah, Germany, Kansas City, and Miami. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm glad we're kind of expanding. Cool. Like, but thoughts on the game?
I bet Kevin's here.
And thoughts on the game? Packers, Eagles. I like the Packers a lot this year. Not so for the sole fact that it's Jordan Love and his young offense still. I think they can outgun the Philadelphia offense. I understand they got better with Cooper and Terry Arnold in the backfield in the back end of their secondary, and they got Saquon, which is their big money target this year. But I still like the Packers in this situation. I like the young guns. Go out and sling it, Jordan. Earn that money for that contract that he got this year, and just go.
Contract we can agree was bogus bullshit.
Off of an 8-game sample, that's absolute crap. Absolute crap.
Mike already discussed the contract, but Mitch, I'm going to come back to you with almost everything you said there. I think the fact that you're taking away a home game from an NFC favorite to go to a different country to play a game just for money's sake is stupid. I think it's unfair to the team. And it's unfair to the fans of the Eagles, being that they were voted the worst fans in the NFL.
I saw that, yeah. I saw that. I'm surprised it wasn't us, honestly.
So, you definitely jumped the gun in terms of your predictions there. I'm glad to have it, because it gives me more time to think once again. But Eagles and Packers, it's an interesting game, right? Because the Green Bay Packers had such a Cinderella season last year. I was just talking to your wife about this the other day. I know it sounds weird, somebody on camera. But, I don't think the Packers are as solid in my mind as those other NFC teams. The Detroit Lions, the Los Angeles Rams, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not sold yet on the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I'm not either. We got an 8-game sample of, like I just said, and of Jordan Love. And
had to play more than 8 games.
there's about an 8-game sample of him.
But he played all last season.
But
He
you
did.
got to
He
realize
did.
too, after.
But there's still not much. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, the reason why I think I'm gonna go Packers in this situation is that you kind of got to look at after the Bills-Eagles game, the downfall of the Eagles too. You have to take that in consideration. Look in the playoffs; they lost to the Bucks.
Yep.
The Bucks, and I took the Bucks
A
too.
lot of people took the Bucks, and Mitch, I appreciate you bringing that up. I do take that into consideration, and I will counter you with Saquon Barkley, one of the best running backs in the NFL, going to a division rival, shaking things up in that NFC East. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles here. I think I'm going 2 favorites, and that's a little hard for me in these first 2 games.
Wow.
But I think that unless that issue with Jalen Hurts and the head coach is prevalent throughout the season, I'm expecting them to be a Super Bowl favorite this year.
But Saquon Barkley has also been the last few years the kind of guy who needs a really, really good line.
Yeah.
And the Philadelphia Eagles lost a lot on their line, especially Jason Kelce.
Okay.
So they did gain, a little bit, but
Saquon had a really good year last year on a really bad Giants team.
He did, but it's another tough game.
Of course it is. AJ Brown,
Because
Devonta Smith, the star
it's still that duo. It's another Derrick Henry Jackson situation.
We got
right?
we got
So,
Josh Jacobs in this game too.
Josh Jacobs joined the Packers from the Raiders. That's a good point. I should have put him in the graphic. I forgot that he joined the team.
I also forgot. Shame on me.
Yeah, me and Mike are going to be watching these games this weekend and be like, oh, he plays there now.
Yeah. Yep.
I wish I could have paid more attention, but I had a busy off season. Mike, who are you taking in this matchup? Eagles and Packers.
I think. Ooh, buddy. Tough. I think I gotta go with I think I gotta go the Eagles.
Okay.
I think that there's just too much unknown for me about the Green Bay Packers right now.
And I think the Packers can come out and win this game, and I think if they do, the first discussion is going to be how real are the Green Bay Packers? Are they Super Bowl contenders? Are they this? And I don't think that's a conversation that should be had because it's week 1.
I was gonna say typical week 1 conversations.
It's gonna be why did the Eagles lose that game if the Packers did win?
Well, of course, depending on the outcome, and of course, it being in Brazil is a big factor. Is there going to be jet lag? Is there going to be problems with the field that normally hosts soccer games instead of American football? But we want to thank you guys for watching. If you did, this obviously did go live. I'm sure we don't have any viewers. Hoping maybe somebody watches it before the games, hopefully before the game tomorrow at least. This will be available on the Kellycast channel on YouTube. Kellycast will also be on Facebook, Twitter, hopefully TikTok, like I mentioned. Stay tuned for more. Be coming real soon. Mitch, thanks for joining us. Mike,
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate fighting you today. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy.
No Spanish, so I didn't do it this time.